Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Tips and Tricks. In today's episode we are going to be going over interiors um, for our Gothic Victorian style, but really you can use this sort of interior across any kind of build that you really want to, depending on how it looks on the outside. The Imperial Palace it might look a little funny on. This is more for like a village design. So I went ahead and just completed this little section here of the house that we built inside of the last episode. So we could go ahead and get a good clean template for the interior. And I decided not to finish off this side or this wall, just so that way we can see it from all sorts of angles and stuff instead of it being in a really cramped little box while we designed it together. Okay, so anywho, first things first, we have to find a way in. So, what I would normally do here is we're going to get rid of all of our hard work from the last episode. I'm going to do a little thingy thing like that. And put in a little staircase here. I always like to put in a nice little guardrail. I always think that it just looks a little bit nicer. There we go, so we'll do that. Let's go ahead and get some doors. We're going to say this is a private residence, so we're going to put a big, thick, heavy, dark oak door. But first things first, let's actually get that floor done. And I always like to do like a polished andesite and then not blackstone, that's far too expensive for a villager house. Deep slate, there we go. I always think that this makes a nice little checkered pattern. And then you'll just go ahead and put this on the floor. Give me just a second. All this just to put in a lovely grand dark oak door. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I swear I'm normally not that bad. There we go. Okay. So now that we have the floor in place, what we're going to do is we're just going to place our doors down like this. And then like that. And that gives us a nice solid looking door for the villagers to have. You can also leave the trapdoors here and stuff just for decoration, really, or whatever you choose. Right here we might put a little something like there. Let it make a little bit more sense. Go ahead and put down a pretty rose bush, because I think rose bushes are, without a doubt, probably one of my favorite Minecraft flowers. They're just so pretty. Let's go ahead and make it day. Good. Okay, so now that we have this done, that's pretty much it for the first floor, at the very least, is getting a way inside of the building, torching it up. I can normally spare at least 2 or 4 torches on an interior like this. Is that a solid block? Yes, it is. Okay, they're all solid blocks. That's all right. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so imagine this wall is also similar to that and whatnot. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put inside of our floor. And what I normally like to do is I do stripped spruce logs going in sort of a formation to look like the beams of the ceiling. Because this will also get you a pretty ceiling and a pretty floor. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put stairs on the blocks that will be connecting to the walls. So I'll put them here even though the walls aren't actually there, just to make it nice and consistent. And then you're going to put half slabs in between all of the beams. And then just like that, you have a pretty looking ceiling and a nice looking floor. And you can hang lanterns from this, you can hang glowing vines from this floor. You can go crazy, do whatever you want. Okay, so now we need to figure out how we're going to get up here. So what we're going to do for this guy is I think we're just going to go ahead and put in your, oh, I like that. Put in your classic Minecraft staircase. I don't think that's going to fit there actually, so we'll start up here and bring it down. It's another tip I like to use is start at the top and then work your way down. And what do you know, it actually lined up perfectly. Wow, that never happens. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of all our hard work there. Then we're going to hit it with another beam that would, of course, connect to this side of the wall again. And then now that we have that, we can put in a little guardrail. You can use fence posts or whatever you want to use. I prefer to use trapdoors. I just think it's a nice little touch there. And as you can see, this is what the ceiling looks like now with the staircase right there. And then I like to go another step forward and put the stair blocks back there connecting to that post. I think it just makes it look a lot more solid and stuff. And with that done, we can go ahead and throw together a small little kitchenette, maybe a fireplace. So let's go ahead and grab a furnace. No, we'll make it a real one. We'll make a real little fireplace down here. So what we're going to do now is, give me just a minute. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put down a sort of countertop right here. We're going to grab a furnace, I know I said I wasn't going to use them, but I changed my mind. I'm going to grab a furnace, a crafting table. Just sort of your basics, you know. We're going to put the furnace there, crafting table right there. And then above the window, we're going to go right there, and right there. Now, it's going to look a little bit dark, but remember, there would be a torch along this wall here. So we should be good. Then we're just going to put some cabinets up right there. And then, honestly, you can probably leave it there if you wanted to. I'm just going to put some half slabs up top to make it look like there's more storage or something up there. But that's sort of like a little basic kitchen you can do for your village or for your house. It sort of just gets the job done, in other words. Now for our fireplace, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the bottom stair block going out, put that guy there. So now we have these 3 blocks inside of the center, which will line up with this window rather nicely. So now what we're going to do is, again, pretend there's a wall here. And all we're going to do is pretty much this. Hold on. We'll build a slightly nicer one, like one that's inside of our hospital. So we do a little bit of something like that. We're going to go ahead and build it up to the ceiling, just to make it a little bit easier to see what is going on. We're going to grab some spruce wood trapdoors as well. There we go. And put them one there, one there, one, not one right there, one right there, one there. Okay, and then just for the back, it doesn't really matter what we do. So we're just going to put a slab here temporarily and then build up. Hello? Hello? Oh, thank you. I don't know what was going on. Then we'll do that. And then for just back here, we put in a chimney. But we'll leave it like that for now. And then on the interior, we'll put down our campfire. We can put down a fireplace screen too, if we want to. That's something I've been doing in the mansion. I think it's a pretty nice little realistic touch. And then we need a painting. Oh, Minecraft, why would you do this? We need a random variant. That's all we need. And we'll slap that above there. There we go. That's a good one. And there you go. That's a cute little fireplace design that you can use for your houses and stuff. And it's still completely usable with the staircase right here. It's just a nice little interior. Whether this be a starter home, you can cook food on the fireplace and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah. So anywho, now let's head upstairs. And first things first, we're going to do the exact same ceiling that we did down here. So we're just going to copy that over and start it. What's going on here? Oh, and start it up here. Don't worry, I only designed this, so I'm going to get it wrong. But now that we know that there's a 3rd story here that is going to be used, we can actually go ahead and put this beam going across all the way, just to save us some time from ripping it all apart again and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and put our beams there like that. Then we're going to grab some of this dark oak wood and just clean it up a little bit. Fill in some blocks so that no mobs can spawn in between everything. And yeah, just generally make it look a lot cleaner. You should probably do that first instead of putting it in the floor, but it just sort of depends on what you manage to get done. So then you're going to put down your stair blocks and your slabs again. Put all those guys down. And then we're going to grab the trapdoors, put them going across, just like that. However, now we're going to need to come down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a stair block there, a little slab bit right there, then a little jutty out bit right there. Great words. And then we're just going to build this going up, so it creates a little bit of a, not a spiral staircase, but a staircase that's stacked on top of each other like that, so that we can get to all of the floors. There we go. And that technically should be dark oak. There we go. Okay, so imagine the roof is all here and whatnot. It looks to, so yeah, the roof would be about here on this block, so you would have just enough room to actually get up to the attic without it causing any issues and stuff. And keep in mind, a lot of this was hollow because of the roof on the other side. So now that that is done, we're gonna sort of finish up. Okay, never mind, we can't do that. I was gonna clean that up a little bit, I guess not. Okay, anywho, let's head downstairs now and let's continue working on this story. Now that we have this, we'll go ahead and torch it up a little bit so we can see what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and grab a couple beds, or maybe just one bed. Let's see, we'll put the bed here. And we'll put another one right there. No, we won't. Anywho, do a little something like that. Then what we're going to do is, in case you want this to be a little bit of a scholarly person, we can put in a lovely little desk area, which we're actually going to do that. Have a nice little bamboo. No, birchwood chair. My gosh, man. Actually, no, I think we're going to switch that out for oak wood. I think it'll just look a little bit nicer in this context and kind of match the bed a little bit better. I also prefer to build my chairs out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 trapdoors instead of the other normal things. I just think that they look a little bit nicer and whatnot. So there, we're going to go ahead and put that there. We're going to grab a fern. Normally it would not be icy cold. Grab some leaves too. We'll do an azalea example. Azalea. Then we're going to grab some moss because I always think that it looks rather pretty. And we're going to grab a bit of bamboo. I know what you're thinking. Bamboo. Okay, maybe you like it. I don't know. I love the look of bamboo. I think that it looks rather pretty. We're also going to grab some bookcases. Go. Pop them down right there. Give us a nice little full interior, an example of what we can do. Then we're also going to grab some end rods, and then I immediately lose you all. Now, you can technically use fence posts with just torches behind it, but since we're in creative mode, we're going to go ahead and use the proper... Ooh, we're going to go ahead and use the proper things. But there you go. That's a... We're going to get rid of that top bit there. That's a cute little bedroom for this house and stuff. And then finally... You know, it is a little bit dark in here. Let's see if we can't add a torch. We'll just put a torch in right there. That'll do. There we go. Okay, so now for our final and third story. This room can pretty much be whatever you want it to be. I once had a world where I just used the top attic as sort of chests and storage. I'm old. That was an indication of how old I've been playing. I still spaced them out. Oh, I'm feeling my age. Okay, so anywho, we're going to go ahead and then grab some dark oak wood, and I'm going to turn it to day real quick. I don't have a command block over here making it day constantly for us, unfortunately. So we're just going to go ahead and spam in some chests right there. Keep in mind, all of this is sort of part of the layering of the outside. This is the external wall here. So really, it could probably be like that, or you would turn it. This is just sort of an example of how this space would be kind of cleaned up. So then what we're going to do is, now that we're at this level, this room is going to have a slightly smaller attic, but, or not attic, ceiling height. We're going to do the exact same thing that we've done on the previous floors. Again, just to clean it up. If you want to leave it open and incorporate this to turn it into more storage, you can. By all means, it's a good idea. When we need storage, we need storage. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and do it like this. And then to get up here, you can always just slap down a ladder if you wanted to keep them separate but still have it be useful as a different area for storage. So it would be a torch right there and then like a torch right here on that wall. And yeah, there we go. That's kind of how I would do an interior like this, and also just sort of the work. It's actually kind of cool looking at it sliced like that. It looks like the chunk hasn't loaded. But yeah, that's kind of how I do my interiors for these styles of builds. I think that it looks really, really cool. I think this would make a really great starter house. Or you can also use the video before this where we built the Gothic Victorian style together and actually use it modularly. Use it in a module setting. As you can see, like we did with St. Hawthorne's Hospital here. Let's go ahead and clear out this blizzard. There we go. That's one of my texture packs to make it a little bit more immersive. Anywho, let's see if we can find it together. There's an old house design that I built. I think I'm going to do a time-lapse video. There it is. That one right there. I did a time-lapse video for it one time. It's the mansion from Clue, built inside of that style's predecessor. So imagine this sort of modular shape for this house, but updated inside of that style. I think that it would look a lot better. Not saying that this house doesn't still hold up. It's just a little bit smaller than the other house design, but this is one of my favorite houses I've ever built. I built this was its prototype. I then proceeded to build it on a modded server for a little bit, which it was, oh my gosh. That's the thing about this house, is it was on like a hill, hill house. And it just looks great from every single angle. I'll go ahead and show you guys the interior of this one too, because it's kind of a cool little build. As you can see, we have a nice little entryway. It's not exactly the same from the one from Clue, but it is still a decent little interior. There used to be paintings right there. I don't know where they've gone. I must have killed them at some point. But yes, pretty much all of the mansion that was ever finished, but it would still make a really nice starter base. So I think we'll probably build this eventually sometime on the realm to bring it back into style. Maybe sometime in our capital city, or who knows, maybe in Havenwood there will be a rich person that has a big, glorious mansion like this, because this is a nice house. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. That's a nice house. But yeah. Anywho, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Minecraft Tips and Tricks. If you did, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you all inside of the next one. See ya!